telling me the power like right near red line. The car getting a So my daily driver is back at the track. As you might remember, we had a blast last time. I am running some pretty soft springs in here, like the 6 kg that I have in the back. So when we were on track last time, we were just putting like a bunch of clicks dialed into the dampers so that we could kind of control the body roll. But the plan right now is to leave the soft springs in there to make it very comfortable for daily driving, and then get the roll control that we need from sway bars. So I just bought some sway bars. We put the links on full stiff and we put the dampers on full soft. So let's see if that shows some body roll control and at the same time has the same compliance on track that I get every day on the street. The other thing that we're testing here today is when I was at the track last time, you know, basically in developing all the parts for this car, I can't really afford to crash it on, you know, like the first or second day out to the track. And a particular worry is that I don't want to make the track owner mad. I don't want to have the fire department out here for 8 hours trying to put out an EV fire and then getting charged for all that. So what we did is we made some battery protection in the form of rocker rail sliders. So my most successful runs on the track last time is when I stopped being scared, started getting comfortable, and started using the whole track. But the fact is, the way that you know that you're using the whole track is that you're gonna dirt drop a wheel every once in a while. So now that I have the rocker sliders on there, I can go out there with more confidence and, you know, not be such a wuss. And yeah, let's throw down. It'll be fun. Instantly easier to drive. That was good. Oh man, that's going pretty good right off the bat. Ooh, smoky. so I was just going for it, and we got both rear wheels off track, which is fine because that's why we put the rocker sliders on there. However, the OEM rocker cover, you can see that it's been kind of traumatized right here, and that got kind of folded back, which kinked it here, and then it kind of corrupted a couple of those clips. You can replace these clips, so that's no big deal. Maybe we'll put some race tape on there and just keep going. But yeah, the rocker slider, the UHMW material, it wasn't phased at all. There is 0 scratches up underneath that battery. So far so good. And then we'll just keep abusing it, and yeah, I'll report back. Right now we're cooling down the tires. We'll get right back out there.
Again.
Oh, you say it's what you want. Serving off the 85, but you wrong. Wanting love when I'm by myself. Ain't give me none. Shorty bad, cause she bought as hell. I'm getting up, I don't get no fucks. Oh, you say it's what you want. Serving off the 85, but you wrong. Wanting love when I'm by myself. Ain't give me none. Shorty bad, cause she bought as hell. I'm getting up, I don't get no fucks. Oh, you say it's what you want. Serving off the 85, but you wrong. Oh, you say it's what you want. Serving off the 85, but you wrong. Wanting love when I'm by myself. Ain't give me none. Shorty bad, cause she bought as hell. I'm giving up, I don't get no fucks. Oh, you say it's what you want. Serving off the 85, but you wrong. Wanting love when I'm by myself. Ain't give me none. Shorty bad, cause she bought as hell. I'm giving up, I don't get no fucks. Oh, you say it's what you want.
It's great to see our buddy Dylan out testing BMWs at Apple Valley Speedway. He asked me how much power the Performance Model 3 puts out to the rear versus the base, drift-prepped Model 3 he drove. It's more about EV instant power delivery for me over max power, so I always recommend the base model to save people money on the car and time in deleting the all-wheel drive system. For the rear motor, and it came in at like 350 or something like that. Here's the thing. When we say like, how much power does this car make? You're telling me the power like right near red line.
Yeah.
But that damn thing, like the power is like ever present.
It was a clutch kick. When I drove it, not yours, but it was like a clutch kick. Like I would just
Yes.
be down low, I'm like,
Right.
oh no, and I would just press the pedal, go.
Yeah, you can instantly overspeed the tires just by doing this. So therefore it drives like something that has a lot more power.
Yeah.
So if you get a V8 so that you have the power down low.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, hell yeah, you use the clutch like half the time. You're not like,
Yeah.
So
it was crazy too, because like you could do different speed turns with just one throttle pedal, and it would just be where you are in the throttle pedal.
Right.
It was really cool.
Right.
Yeah. I'm excited to see this. It looks like it's working well.
Yeah. Not bad.
Can you do that again?
He likes the
Hey, yo.
think
Hey, yo.
Now I got pressure, but I can't explain it because other times when I pump, it's like almost at the floor.
But now if you pull the handbrake, it's gonna be nothing, right?
It's that hissing sound.
Yeah, I think that's...
So hissing sound means
I think just
it's just like a shot O-ring.
Yeah, I think it's just a shot O-ring.
That's why before we plumb up the entire system, you can't just like sit in the car and just be like dreaming like with no fluid. It blows your O-ring. I didn't do that, by the way.
Where's the?
I was gonna say,
I think it's just that
this is not my car, and I'm not the one that, I don't get too giddy about a non-functioning handbrake, so.
me neither. I didn't do it. But hey, O-rings don't last forever, and they have a tolerance.
This thing probably puts out a pretty insane amount of brake pressure too.
At least it's not an external leak. We'd be way more sad if it was an external leak.
No, because then we can fix it. I'd be way happier if
if my interior was filled with brake fluid, then that would not make me happy.
Oh yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
But that's not really gonna happen on the master cylinder.
I think the O-ring's just shot in the handbrake, and we're trying to like get a consensus on it, but it's like I can pump that guy up, and then he's firm. But that's only because I've like built pressure in the system, and then if the next time I go to grab it, it just kind of like squishes all the way down like this.
Ooh.
And we hear a hissing, then I have to think it's just blown O-ring. You like that? You cannot get enough of that. Zach, you can see that 1,000. You can see
so
the car, and
It's
then you'll
funny.
not stop laughing.
It's just moving on its own.
Is that like when you? Yeah.
I'm bleeping that out.
It's
But I'll
terrible.
put it in. And you were on track and you were noticing it.
Yeah, same kind of intermittent weirdness. And that squishy noise, that's the worst. Never hear that. So that thing is so important
Okay.
in a car that doesn't have a clutch.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you need everything that it does have to be working correctly. So yeah, I think that's dead for the day.
I'm falling again. Pieces, my friend. Don't say you love me. I know you pretend. This shit got no end. I'm drowning again. When she say I'm ugly, it's all in my head.
All right, goals achieved today. Tested out the rocker sliders and 0 battery damage, even though I went off the track with not 1 but 2 wheels. So that's what we are kind of afraid of, is like, you know, if you got like the left and the right rail, then it's good for like a 1-tire dirt drop, but actually we just put the back end of the car completely off, and then there was just like 0 marks on the battery. So that was a success. Proved that the car was much easier to drive with the excess body roll taken out by the sway bars. So that was super sweet. And then for some reason, we just found the end of life on some internal O-ring in the handbrake. So that cut our day short. But I was pretty happy out there. On previous visits to the track, we never did turn 1. So it was great for me to just kind of like figure out what the Tesla wanted in turn 1, which is kind of funny because like everybody drag races through all their gears leading up to that turn, and then they grab like tons of handbrake. But the thing is, the Tesla can get up to speed with all the torque at the last minute. So it's like, for me, I'm just driving like I'm driving through a parking lot all the way up to the end there, and then the most exciting way to do it in the Tesla is just to hammer the gas, and it just immediately starts handling that first turn at speed. So that's fun, and yeah, just had a great day making some tire smoke. I usually like to burn all my tires, and sometimes we don't get to, but you know, pretty minor hiccup, so we'll have that sorted immediately when we get back to the shop. So great day. Thanks for joining.